Hi everybody, Matt back with you. Hope you're okay. Today I'm just at Well, heading down into Hardcastle Crags. I'm going to have a hike through to at least Gibson Mill, but also hopefully to show you the actual Hardcastle Crags themselves. The weather's not great today, so I'm not sure I'll get much further than that. I realised I've quite a lot of little videos of there's this bit in Hardcastle Crags, there's this bit in Hardcastle Crags. It'd be better surely to piece some of them together. Hardcastle Crags is a beautiful National Trust woodland. There's a mill in it, there's caves in it, so let's see what we can find. So here we are at the entrance, or one of the entrances to Hardcastle Crags. We're about a mile from Hebden at this point, so not too far, although it does feel like you really are in the middle of somewhere very different. Now, everybody will experience Hardcastle Crags differently. It depends what you've come for, whether it's a good hike or whether it's to come and look at nature, just places. There's all different things you can find here, as well as all different walks. So there's a walk by the river, there's a walk by road through to Gibson Mill, but to start with we're going to head up and out just to show you something that you can find at the top of the hill here. It's hard to believe today, of course, as it says on this rock, 3 occasions, 1934, 48 and 69, people wanted to flood this valley to make it a reservoir. Thank goodness that didn't happen. So I'm going to show you up here first. This is a path that leads to what's called Shackleton Hill. And the reason I'm showing you this way initially is because A, it's beautiful, and B, you can find a few little ruins in amongst. And we could actually always head through Shackleton Hill and drop down into Hardcastle Crags a bit further. No idea which way I'm going yet. Figure it out as we go. There are some huge rocks amongst the trees here. How many centuries have they been here? You always wonder, is there a cave underneath? Does this look like a cave ahead? Not quite. So after a seemingly never-ending slog uphill in the now driving rain, you can see Hardcastle Crags down there. I'm very much out of breath today. But here we are, Shackleton Hill. Now, if you're looking for a very old spot from Hebden's past, this would be it. So there are a number of old farms and barns up here. A lot of them have now been converted. This is the highest point of our walk today. It has got very, very windy and very wet up here. So until I'm back down amongst the trees, I'm probably not going to speak to you, but I'm going to find in a second a ruin that I think is called, excuse me, it's so soggy. And that's not my nose running, it's the rain. It's called Field Head Farm, I think. There's just a little bit of a ruin there. And then, let's get back down into the trees and show you some more of the crags. Charming. This is the ruins of Fieldhead Farm and Barn, I believe. This side is the farm, and this is the barn. As you can see, there's not a lot left really, so it's just a quick look. Right, let's head back down into the crags. So I'm still on Shackleton Hill. I'm just trying to find the path, a different path to head down into the crags. I think there's one a bit further ahead, and it should bring us out at Gibson Mill. But if you did decide not to walk through Hardcastle Crags, this is certainly a good enough spot to come. It takes you through to the Lake Dean, Walsherdene reservoirs. On the hillside there, that's the other car park for Hardcastle Crags. So you could potentially start there and walk along. So if you didn't want to do the trees, yeah, this is quite a good way to go. And it is good to see these amazing old farms up here. I don't know how old they'll be. It is like a different life, really. I can imagine that if it snows, you're here for a while. Okay, we are on the path down at last. Right, I'm back in the wood, back on the path. Thank goodness. Quite a height up here. So why a video on Hardcastle Crags? Well, firstly, I don't really know a lot of history about this place. I believe the land belonged to somebody called Lord Savile, not that one, and he, I believe, bequeathed the land to the National Trust after he passed away, or maybe before he passed away, because I believe it's been in the National Trust property for quite a long time. So because it belongs to the National Trust, it's quite well looked after. I do walk around and see a lot of chopped down trees just sitting about. Again, I'm ignorant to what goes on here, really. I don't know quite why that happens. Maybe if you know, you can tell me. But it's my own personal history of here. I've been coming here for over 40 years. I lived literally about a mile away from here, or maybe 2 miles from this particular spot. I used to do family walks here. I used to be a teacher. I brought schools here. It's just, if I had to choose 2 words to describe why I come here, peace and tranquility. It is just a beautiful spot. We are back onto the road. And we reach Gibson Mill. So when we walk back, I'm going to be heading via the river to show you some things there. And unfortunately, the famous stepping stones across the river. Still not been replaced since the last floods a few years ago. But I'll find some more stepping stones too. Gibson Mill was one of the very first cotton mills of the Industrial Revolution, built in 1805 and run by a large water wheel. It stopped producing cotton around 1890. By 1902, the mill had ceased producing cotton altogether, when it then became an entertainment centre. There was a cafe, a pavilion, they did dancing, there were swings, there was even the boating lake. Even by 1930, they were doing roller skating. So just at the end of the picnic spot, I think at one point there was a pavilion here, which ended up in ruin. I'll try and find some pictures of it. And there are also some old Victorian pictures of, I think, some swings here. This place was quite popular in Victorian times. I think the top of the mill was once a ballroom. If this is anything of interest. Oh, just a little storage barn. Taking the left hand side of the river first, purely because it's too busy over there for me, all the 5 people. Let's see what's around this corner here. Well, admittedly we've not had a lot of rain recently, but hopefully we should see a waterfall. Not quite at full power, but still very nice. When it comes to Hardcastle Crags, there's two things stand out for me. One is the size of it. You can walk for miles and always be in this woodland. Secondly, it's often been described as similar to, I think, the Black Forests of Germany. I've never been there, so I can't make that comparison, but I'll trust other people's judgment. Possibly a bad idea. Sometimes, when you're here, you've got to go off the track a bit to find the things you're looking for, and that's what we're going to do right now. So if we veer off the track, right down here, from here we find, hopefully, a cave. So this is called the Fisherman's Cave. Let's see what's in here. So this is very much a natural cave that has been added to by man, and because of the huge rock here, it creates this really lovely space. And unfortunately, I haven't brought a torch today, but you might be able to see this from here, how big it is. It's very nice, but I imagine you don't want to be in here if it rains very heavily. Now there is a more famous cave in Hardcastle Crags that's steeped in history and folklore, and that is the cave that's known as Tom Bell's Cave. I might not reach that today, it's a little bit out of the way, but I have done a full video on it. I'll put a link amongst the description if you want to watch that. It's a fascinating tale, and certainly one of the best folk tales from this area. Right, I'm not catching any fish today, so let's keep going. So heading across the other side of the river now, and should eventually connect us back onto the road. It'll take us back down to Gibson Mill, but not until we finally find the crags themselves. These are the remains of the old bridge. Okay, I obviously spoke too soon. Looks like we have to go back across again. And we will end up on the other side very soon. So the only other time we would walk as far as here was if we were doing the Arts Festival Sculpture Trail. I used to do that every year with my uncle, and they would walk as far as here. I think the sculptures were as far as here, but the path from here takes you off to Blake Dean. Now I'm not doing that today either. I'm not chickening out. I've shown you plenty so far and there's still more to go. But I've done other videos on the Blake Dean Trestle Rail Bridge, the haunted graveyard that's at Blake Dean. So again, I'll put those links on underneath if you're interested. And I will return to Blake Dean soon, because I want to head further round and do the 3 Walshaw reservoirs that are there. And apparently there's a couple of little ruins near there as well, which I've not seen before, so that should be good. We are now at the point where we can cross to the other side. Oh, finally, how long has this been? Let's show you the crags. bit embarrassing. Good job I wasn't going to Blake Dean. My phone is now flashing it's on 5% battery because it's been searching for a signal all this time. However, I think I can just about fit in on this video the crags, and then it may just stop. So apologies if it suddenly feels like it's been brought to an abrupt end, but here we go. So these are the crags of Hardcastle Crags. Can I reach the top in time? Almost. Almost. Yes! High above the path, out of breath, we reach the top of Hardcastle Crags. The crags themselves. Yeah, so calm and peaceful. Top of Hardcastle Crags. Hooray! As you disappear with the battery. We'll see you next time, guys. See you soon. Peaceful, calm, lovely. Bye for now. Hi guys, Matt dried off. Just a bit to add to the end of the video. Obviously, I did be disappointed. I did a rookie mistake. Unfortunately, I should have remembered there's no signal in Hardcastle Crags, so my phone was just constantly searching for one. So that's why the battery ran out so quick. However, it does look like I will have to go back and do a second visit. And these are the other videos of things I mentioned. If you want to watch any others, there'll be links to them in the description below. So we didn't see one of the many money trees that you can find in Hardcastle Crags. I think there must be some folklore attached to those. These were the other stepping stones halfway down the river, not the ones by Gibson Mill. Yes, I've been past them before. And yeah, I have previously been in the Fisherman's Cave with Tom. The videos from further down the river take us to the remains of the Trestle Railway Bridge at Blake Dean, as well as a haunted graveyard. We've also headed up from the car park at Hardcastle Crags up Crimsworth Dean to Lum Falls. Hardcastle Crags is also famous for its trillions of ants. And of course there's the video on my explore of what could be the legendary Tom Bell's Cave. So if you want to watch any of these, I'll put the links down in the descriptions. Feel free to click away. But I will return soon and try and put them all together again on one video, certainly. Probably from Hebden to Gibson Mill by the river, which is where I was supposed to go today. Alright guys, take care.